First piece, personal alignment. When I was finishing my PhD, I kept just thinking about, okay, what could I do next? What am I supposed to do next? My examples were postdocs and research associates, perpetual researchers. So, okay, I'm gonna be a research scientist. I know I don't wanna have my own lab, so I'm gonna go find a lab that I can work in that's supported by a company instead of by an academic umbrella. That was kind of all I knew. And the biggest breakthrough for me was that and you heard some of this already, you can focus on a job that you're interested in doing, not just that you could do. Sure, I'm able to do it, I'll go that, but you want a job that's gonna get you up in the morning every day and let you sleep at night too. I'll go to the second point too, start doing things. So for example, making the first draft of your resume, I actually started, that first draft, you list all the skills you might have, but you might want to be selective. So like, this isn't a transferable skill, but the example I'll give is I had pretty decent MATLAB skills by the end of my PhD, but I hate MATLAB. So I don't want to admit that I know how to use MATLAB because I don't want a job that's going to ask me to use MATLAB. No. So you can actually make that choice and kind of present yourself in the role that you want. So same story again. Also, do things, make those LinkedIn connections. I'm still very shy. You can maybe hear me shaking, I don't know. But the first LinkedIn connections I made was when I moved back from Canada to Massachusetts. I reached out to people I used to know in high school, hadn't talked to in 10, 15 years. Said, hey, I'm back in the area. What are you doing now? I just want to know what's out there. None of them have their PhD. None of them spent 10 extra years in school. They all went and got jobs. I don't know what's out there. So it was just friendly. I have a reason to talk to you. I grew up with you. What's going on? I'm learning about what jobs are out there, and I'm practicing networking with people that will forgive me for being a dum-dum, because I'm a nerd. They know that. I don't have to be sociable. So once I started doing that, then you embrace the network. So there's people already in your network that can influence you. What I started, and I think there's advice already been given, you start trying to network with people in the jobs that you're going for. So the pitfall to that is you might think, okay, I'm gonna find this person so they can tell me how to get their job. But that's a little needy. So you can start by kind of observing, this is what I've done. You start observing how that person interacts with the world around them. So I have a customer-facing role. I'm not in front of a computer screen, no MATLAB. I talk to people all day. So I watched how other technical sales people, application science people, consultative sales, that kind of thing, what they do on LinkedIn. And I found someone, they were talking about going to the Society for Neuroscience meeting, the biggest trade show conference that we neuroscientists have. So I said, hey, are you gonna be there? What are you presenting? Do you have a booth? What's it like? Just more like, what's your day-to-day? Not, how do I become you? But what's your day-to-day? So did not answer me. Of course, he's getting ready for a conference. So I go and do my research. How do I add value the next time? Yes, you keep reaching out. When Isaiah said once a week, I was like, oh man, I think I was way slower than that. But you find the next thing to talk about. So I went to research the company that this person worked for, and I saw they had an open position. Luck, total luck. But I read that job description, I actually kind of liked it. I said, you know what, I could do this. But this job's in Michigan, I live in Massachusetts, I'm not really sure I'm ready to take a job. And there were actually people in this room that were at the summit 5 years ago. I said, guys, I found this cool job description, I've been learning things, you kind of report back to each other. And they said, apply for it. And I was like, why? Practice. Why not go through the process with a job you're probably not going to take, but you can learn from, so that when you have the job you really want to find and get, you're not doing it for the first time. That was huge. So use your network, one, to learn from, but two, to hold you accountable. That was a huge thing for me. So shout out to Sid and Elizabeth especially, because they're here 5 years ago. You can kind of have people keep track of where you are in your transition. So the biggest of this person, and so again, luck, but the person that I was trying to chase that was going to that conference he was leaving the company to go work for ESPN, so cool. And I took his job. And so we met each other, became friends, and he's this big guy, and I'm this little girl, and it was really fun to kind of have that handoff. So that was actually the biggest influence for me, was seeing how he's fit his shoes and how I could fit his shoes or change his shoes.